right, Nick, thank you. And I want to go now and check in with an ICU doctor who's been on the front lines of the pandemic, Dr. Lakshman Swamy with Boston Medical Center. He's been talking to us, obviously, throughout this crisis. And Doctor, I'm glad to have you back. The last time we spoke, you were talking about a tense and fearful atmosphere at your hospital. How are you feeling now?
It's thank you for having me back. It's hard to say this, but every week I think, how could it get more tense? How could we get more scared? And yet, here we are. I was in the intensive care unit last night. I was taking care of the COVID medical ICU. That's a little over 30 patients, most of whom are on life support, the ventilators, many. I spent most of the night just going from one ventilator to another and trying to kind of tweak them a little bit to help people get a little more oxygen, to help them get better. Aside from that, it's hard because we're still seeing so many young, healthy people come in and get put on the ventilator. Last night I was speaking with a young parent who could have been someone in my own family, and I had to tell them that we needed to put the breathing tube in, and we all watched while they called their child at home and said, I love you so much, I love you so much, I love you so much, and that was it. It almost this may not be appropriate, but it almost reminded me of those phone calls from 9/11 where people are saying goodbye to their loved ones. And obviously we all hope that we can get everyone better, but that's the terror and that's the atmosphere that we're seeing, and that's room after room after room.
So you say a couple things there that I want to follow up on. One of them is that people know that when you get hospitalized for this, it's serious. They understand that. But obviously there's people who are in the hospital who are able to get out without going on a ventilator, and then there are people who go on ventilators. We've heard the studies out of the UK saying two-thirds of the people who go on a ventilator don't make it. In New York, some of the numbers out is that it could be as high as 80% do not make it. Why is going on the ventilator such a severe step?
It's life support, and it's in a way it's just, first of all, a marker of how sick you really are, that you couldn't live without it. But beyond that, the problem is that the ventilator, it really takes a toll on you. So even a young, healthy person who goes on the ventilator for days or even more than a week, weeks, they're not going to come out of that the same as they were before, and it'll take a long time to sort of get over not just the physical trauma, but really the psychological trauma too. So it really is critical care.
And you